Hi, my name is Gabby. I'm a professional animator, and today I'm going to be showing you my CalArts acceptance sketchbook. Now, I'll be so real with you. For a lot of years, I did not know how I got into the school. CalArts character animation program has a 3% acceptance rate, which is lower than Harvard. And I expected fully that I was going to apply a few times, get some helpful critique, and then one day get into the school. But what actually happened was I got in on my very first try, and I had to go while being completely unprepared. I went in with a sketchbook that was messy, disjointed, and at times flat out ugly. And I graduated from the school winning the highest award that CalArts has to offer. My first job straight out of school was working at Walt Disney Animation Studios as a storyboard artist. I was still untrained there, but that is like a lot of people's lifetime career goal. I also was offered a few different TV shows by different studios, but it all started here with this. And now I can very confidently say, with my experience in the industry, I would have 100% accepted this person too, even though the sketchbook is straight up ugly at times. And so I'm going to explain to you what they saw in me, because now I can finally see it in me too. Let's start. To give you some crucial context, the year is 2013. Adventure Time has revolutionized the entire world at this point. The cartoons that are coming out, Sanjay and Craig, Rick and Morty, really look just like Adventure Time. There are two schools of art that I will name at this time. I call them the noodle style and the bubble style. The bubble style being Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, Bee and Puppycat, things of that nature. Now, people will falsely accuse these shows of having a CalArts style, not even taking into context that a lot of these creators did not go to CalArts. But what I will point out to you is that in my sketchbook, you will see something very, very different. The art style that you'll see in my sketchbook is what can only be described as scratchy. This style is characterized, I think, by sharp turns and very geometric faces, but also this weird flowing gestury style. Something that is exciting for acceptance boards to see is a unique art style, because Adventure Time didn't exist before Pen Ward. And once Pen Ward came out, that's just how he draws, by the way. Once he came out with Adventure Time, it revolutionized what all of animation looked like. So searching for a unique art style is actually it's a good idea from an animation perspective. When I was at Walt Disney Animation Studios on my third day in the office, I was pulled aside by the artist manager who told me flat out, "You were hired in part by your artistic style and your artistic voice. We do not want you to assimilate to the Disney house style. So please don't. Do everything in your power to keep your style exactly as it is." The reason for that is you never know when someone's art style is going to become a house art style. Tim Burton, Pen Ward, Rebecca Sugar, Craig McCracken, Klasky Chupo, these people have unique styles that don't look like anybody else's, that then went on to become the template for other people's art styles. Let's move on. So pretending that I'm a recruiter, the next thing that really stands out to me about this person's sketchbook is an emphasis on learning. This person is clearly very, very untrained, but this person is very eager to learn. Because if you look, here they're experimenting with watercolors for the first time in the sketchbook, and then a couple pages later, they're applying watercolor to their own drawings. So this person is constantly searching for information out in the world, observing, and then trying to apply it as much as they can to their own drawings that they come up with out of their head. Now, animation, if you don't know, is all about acting on the paper. So this is a really promising thing to see. Again, observational drawing, and then non-observational drawing. Another thing that I like about the sketchbook is you can see, Steve Harvey, you can see improvement throughout the sketchbook. Look at this page versus this page. They're similar in content, and yet the advancement in technique in just, I don't know, are they using dates? Write dates in your sketchbook, by the way. More observation here, and a thing that I like is, here's an observation of this character or this person dressed in this outfit, and on the next page, here are some attempts to put that character into different poses. Now, this is not something that you would do like in a life drawing class. You would wait for the model to pose themselves, but this person was clearly jumping the gun, and I like that. It's got heart. Again, there's clear improvement in the sketchbook, and then those things are then applied to the rest of their sketches. That's promising. This person learns quickly. And the fact that they're working in a big sketchbook and filling the entire page is good too. It's just, there's a feeling in this sketchbook of wanting to fill every corner of the page, almost a desperation for paper. And I think that conveys to me, as a potential recruiter in this situation, that this person wants to draw as much as possible, which is good. Another thing I like about this sketchbook is here's a double panel, and they try a few double panels when it gets towards the end. They're working mainly in pen with a little bit of pencil here and there, but pen is good because it allows you to learn more quickly since you're not erasing. These gestures of children are very evocative. I mean, they're not great, but they're very clearly done in the moment with pen at a very high speed. Same thing with these animal drawings. This person is also trying to draw animals. Like, these sketches are not good. I don't know if that's a dolphin or a seal or a polar bear or what. I don't know. I can't tell. But these hold promise. There's promise in these sketches. And the fact that they're even attempting to draw animals is kind of a big deal. This one, you kind of get the sense of the energy of the pose. And even if there are a lot of failed attempts, the fact that there are one or two successful attempts holds promise. This person can be trained. And then immediately, like I said, here's that tension pose on the previous page. And then in the next page, they've applied it to their own character that we see multiple times throughout this sketchbook. These are great, especially compared to these or this one. This person has progressed in just one sketchbook. So in just a couple of months, this person has improved this much. That's very promising. I like that. Whatever this person is bringing to the table, they can be trained to do other skills. Great. But the number one reason that I would accept this person, and the reason that I am so confident, is what put my sketchbook from the no pile into the yes pile, is the amount of storytelling in it. And not just story, but character specific. Keep in mind, CalArts character animation is not called CalArts animation. It's called character animation. Character animating is a difficult skill, but the most difficult part of it is the thinking part. And this sketchbook shows an awful lot of thinking. So the thing that really stands out to me about this sketchbook is the amount of named characters and notes written on the side. Things like observational drawings we expect to see in a sketchbook, but things like this with notes, character notes, design notes, outfit notes, names, named characters, little things like this, where they're clearly thinking in depth about who this person is. This says, Agatha, 14, barefoot, hospital gown. Green energy comes out of her hands. Meets Bobby, crush, spurned. That's a whole story in just a few words. This is interesting. I don't know what's going on. This character will show up again and again. These storyboards are awful. This is terrible. They're not even in an aspect ratio that's recognizable. But that doesn't matter if we skip past that and look for the things that are really interesting here. If I didn't know this was Portal 2, I would think this person came up with a robot story, and I would think that was awesome. But here are those same characters again. Lucinda now instead of Agatha, and Bobby. These characters who then become these characters. Johnny, I don't know who Johnny is. And then here's a whole world that we've not seen. The beginnings of a brand new world. More characters. Here's a new character that's obviously in the same world as the last one. And then I'll skip ahead to, what is this little boy with a robot arm on his back? The imagination, the play on imagination in the world seems to be something that this person really, really enjoys doing. Playing with the characters, shifting them around, creating worlds around them. And then this is what would really sell it to me. This is the inside of a house. But later on, we see that it's actually a trailer. And these are just blueprints and architectural drawings of the inside of these people's houses. And then placing those same characters inside the house that they just drew. The four walls, the stairwell that has photographs all up and down it with the contrast of the stairwell. This is brilliant design. I'm actually really impressed by this. This is schematics of the inside of a house, the outside of the house. The amount of thought that goes into whatever this world is so detailed that I want to know more about the story. Here's the outside of the trailer that we just saw the inside of a couple pages ago. If I were evaluating this person in terms of whether or not to let them in to a character animation program, this would convince me. The amount of in-depth thought for this one story would convince me that this person had what it takes to one day make a show, perhaps, make a film. And I truly think that that's the most important thing that I can convey to you here, because as the person who made this sketchbook 10 years ago, and as the person who would consistently get critiques throughout my career in school, academically, and also in the industry, my critiques were always, you need to learn perspective, or you need to work on your faces, or your draftsmanship is poor. But it was never, your story doesn't make sense. It was never, I don't care about this character. As a matter of fact, I got a lot of feedback that was, I really care about this character. This film made me cry. Those things came naturally for me. And as a person who would be evaluating that artist, I know that is not something that can be taught. That is something that is inherent, that comes from reading a lot of books. I know because I did it. That comes from consuming a lot of fiction. That comes from a high level of emotional intelligence and empathy. And it comes from having a genuine curiosity about the world and the people around you. Curiosity cannot be taught. Draftsmanship can be taught. Perspective can be taught. Animation can be taught. Being a leader can be taught. Being a director can be taught. All of those things can be taught. But the people who will get behind you if you one day were to become a director would be people who believe in your story. And you believe in your story because you believe in the characters. So I will tell you, with the benefit of hindsight, that the people who went on to be the biggest stars out of the class that I graduated with were people with very unique art styles and very unique perspectives, who had a lot of heart, a lot of empathy, a lot of emotional intelligence, were kind, generous people who were easy to work with and fun to be around, and had a brilliant sense of character. How do you get a brilliant sense of character? Shit, read a book. Consume content that you love. And this is the part where I will tell you, it's okay to make fan art. Don't put it in your portfolio because it's seen as unprofessional, but make fan art. Like, you get so much critique of don't make fan art because it's bad and blah, blah, blah. And look, what I'm saying is don't draw Tweety Bird again and again in the same pose. But if you want to give Tweety Bird a brand new personality and put him in there and like make a crossover AU with Tom and Jerry and Tweety Bird, do it. Absolutely do it. Because that shows imagination. It shows an interest in character. It shows ability to come up with things and put things together that other people wouldn't be able to. And those are the qualities of a leader. At least in the animation industry, those are the qualities of a good storyteller. So yeah, 100%. I would accept the sketchbook instantly. That would be in my yes pile for sure. For me, less of the unique art style. That doesn't matter to me as much. But the in-depth dedication to evaluating character and representing them as true real-life people, that'll do it every single fucking time. Okay, I hope that helps. Good luck. If you have questions, ask me. I'm here for you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. One last thing, which I almost forgot to tell you. If you're interested in seeing the rest of the sketchbook, every single page, there's 186 8.5 by 11 pages. If you'd like to see them, you can buy the high-resolution scans, cleaned up and everything, on my Patreon account for $12. I sell sketchbooks on there from time to time, newer ones too. If you join the Patreon, by the way, you get it for free. So consider it. I also have in the same PDF file the materials that I used and some portfolio tips. But good luck. Whatever it is you plan to do, follow your dreams. You've got it in you. I'll see you soon. Hi, it's Editing Gabby. I would be remiss not to tell you that the world that you see in the sketchbook has now been developed into a comic. I make a webcomic. You can find it on Patreon or on webtoon. But I finally made those characters into a real comic. I started it when I was at Disney, and I'm still doing it today. Check it out.